Oh my gosh, drinking coffee at 8 o'clock. What is my problem? Sharking. It's a thing. And we generally think of it as something that the opponent intentionally tries to do in order to distract you or get you to lose your concentration so that you're more likely to miss your shot and occasionally actually cheat. But at some point, the lines blur between sharking and unsportsmanlike behavior. So where does one draw the line so that when it does happen, you can stand up for yourself without looking like a total asshat? So I took a deeper look into it and learned a couple things about it. First, I looked up the definitions just to get, a clear look into what the major pool association rules are about it. First off, APA rules dictate that you do not cheer against your opponent, but to otherwise treat your opponent as you would like to be treated. Some counties give guidelines for good sportsmanship. So BCA rules also dictate no sharking specifically, but limits its definition to sitting or standing in line of sight the opponent and accidentally twitching during the shooter's backstroke. And to also treat your opponent as you would like to be treated, and give some guidelines for good sportsmanship. World Open champion CJ Wiley defines it as an intentional act to distract the opponent. Also, for shits and giggles, according to gaming.stackexchange.com, sharking is when an experienced player takes advantage of a newbie and trades a low-value in-game item for a more valuable item. I don't know why I threw that in there, it's just a thing. This basically leaves a large gray area for opponents to perform some questionable maneuver during a match. Aside from some social balancing measures of sportsmanlike expectations, there's a lot we have to deal with on a regular basis that's kind of up to our discretion. So I've spoken with a lot of people about their sharking experiences, and most have been through some form of sharking or another. And also through community forums, I find that there's still a lot of sharking experiences out there. A lot of people believe that to be legit sharking, it has to be intentional, or it should be intentional. But there's also other people who believe it doesn't necessarily have to be. If your opponent is upset and acting out in some outrageous manner that would require some kind of response on your part, wouldn't that get into your head? Personally, I would consider that a form of sharking. Through research and reading community forums and asking around, I've come up with the list of some basic things that I've come across. Extreme slow play, visibly obvious twisting, rubbing, twirling of cue, flicking powder, showing unreasonable agitation, non-stop chatter during a shot, phone usage during a match, emotional outbursts, giving you a slug rack, accusing you of sharking them, verbally predicting the outcome of your shot or the match, accusing you of misconduct, leaves a table during your turn to go chat, put cues away before the match is over, stating a rule that you are not familiar with, or giving unasked for advice. I personally think that all these moves are sharking in some form of another, to some degree. Some are mild and some are dismissible, and some of them call for an appropriate action. So my experience is only limited to the past 6 or 7 years, but I'm going to list out how I would respond to each of these scenarios. I kind of think that there should be a ranking system where 1 to 5 are just chill and relax, or you can just be a smart ass back, and then 5 to 8 or 5 to 7 are you talk with the opponent, and then anything above that you take up with their captain or the league operator or the tournament director, something like that. I think that would be really useful, because back in the old days, it was like a street smart skill, but pool's kind of become popularized, and I think it's changing. So depending on you and your proximity to ultimate nirvana, these kind of things can be really, really distracting or just downright annoying. You may react differently to some of these than I do, which is, your deal. Generally, I consider myself a pretty patient person in temperament. Chill, patient. What's the difference? So there's basically 5 things that you can do in response to a sharking situation. 1, reset mentally and get back into the present moment. 2, reset your pre-shot routine. 3, communicate with the opponent. 4, communicate with their captain. 5, communicate with the director or the league operator. Obviously, if this is a tournament, then they don't have a captain, but maybe you could, call their mom. Of course, there's other responses like being a smart aleck back and coming up with some fun way to pick at them, which is my favorite one. But whatever it is, you can come with your own degree of sharking responses. Also, I'm guilty of some of these too. Like, I ain't perfect. It's really easy to do some of these things when you're not thinking and you're just an emotional whirlwind of regret and self-hatred. But if someone requested that I stop, I would immediately respect their wishes. So what do you think about sharking? Is it intentional or not? I'm actually kind of curious about this. Maybe I should throw up a poll on TikTok. Can you even do that? I don't know anything about social media nowadays. So the bottom line is we can't control anything anybody else says or does. The only thing that we can really control is what we do at our turn when playing the moment. And so it would appear that maintaining some distance from the actions of others, sticking with your own game, and focusing on the present is kind of important, an important step to improving in pool. But we all run into asshats every so often. Just use your judgment. It might be better for you to, just let it slide. It might be better for you to, bring it up with the director, or just, have a quick friendly chat with them and just say like, hey, cut it out. There's something else I'd like to note here for all my male audiences, and this is from the female perspective. Sometimes, if I am playing someone that is getting belligerent and obviously upset, and I'm winning, a part of me slightly fears for my life. I don't want to like anger someone and then be caught in like a UFC level death match or some. So despite these being impressive as they are, I would generally bet on the guy. So for you men out there, maybe some women, I don't know, please respect the natural predator-prey response ingrained in the female gender. But all in all, like sharking is actually pretty rare. Most people I play have been respectful and kind. They of course they get upset, but it's never a big deal. So I wanted to thank all of you for the good times on the tables with you. So to give a shout out to you guys, thank you. I've linked my references below. You can check them for more details. That's pretty much all I got to say. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, happy shooting. Haha.